Here's an example of applying, already thinking that you know something. And that is, as a parent, your child learns some sounds and they learn to read cat. They learn to write their name. Well, you wouldn't feel very nice about yourself if you expected then your child to write a story. True? What if you expected your child to read a novel? That wouldn't make sense, would it? And you would be kind of a very nice parent, and you should not be the one helping them learn if that's the case. Um, but you actually can violate this fact without even recognizing it. Some things that I've seen are, you know this, you've seen this, didn't you just learn this? Or um, teachers do this with, especially with these online lessons that I've seen. In order for them to be valid, they have to introduce what they're talking about and offer some sort of practice. Oftentimes, just the child just clicks a button, but not always. Then at the end, what they do is they reiterate, or in conclusion, they discuss what the lesson was about. And so what I have seen is that they'll say, okay, so we've learned this and we've learned that and we've learned this. Well, the fact is, you said this and you said that and you maybe showed this, but that doesn't mean that the student has learned. So, for example, for me, I'm trying to learn how to draw dragonflies. I have this project I want to do, and it's taken me some time to actually duplicate. I see the page, I see the YouTube video, and I see how they do it. And when I write it on my paper, it's not quite the same. So right there in the past, actually, I have said, okay, I can't do this. I can't draw. I'm not very good at illustrating. Um, and maybe I'm not, but how are you supposed to know if you only half tried, right? Um, So if the video I had watched last night, it claimed to draw a realistic dragonfly, which I disagreed with in the end. It was just basic line drawings, but it was perhaps a dad and a daughter. And so he took her step by step. You draw a circle, she drew a circle, draw this part of the body, it looks like a U, and then we'll draw this longer line and longer line. It's going to attach. So he was very good with the step by step. And hers looked fairly similar to his. But mine did not. But what he did not do was say, okay, so now you've learned how to do this to the viewer. I don't remember if he said that to her, but it didn't matter because she had already drawn it. So what you want to do is you just want to watch that. Just because something's been introduced or practiced, even, that doesn't mean that somebody has aced it, or doesn't mean somebody's actually understood it, can duplicate it, or such. I just said that because I can't think of another word at the moment. So for reading, what I've done, since I'm incredibly thorough for some reason, is I back up all my reading lessons to I, and eh. First we do and then we learn that you read from the top and you go down to the left and then to the right and then down to the left and then to the right, and then you just continue. So then after they practice I have them practice and then I have them practice and So there's a whole lot more to it, but I'm just trying to give you just a basic idea of how I do this. because eventually after they get that, I just give them some consonant sounds to create words, such as in and on, it, at. And I try to just use words that they can understand as well. It is something. I am at school. And once they learn to blend those, then I add a third letter. A lot of reading programs do 3 letters, k, at, n, can. Well, some people can do that, but I have found that those who have that just that lower step mastered can actually blend out longer words like independent, which is such a win when they can do that. Now, if a child goes home after having learned how to read it and in, and then is trying to read a story, in is generally in a book, and so is it, which is partly why I chose those. But and they're also it and in and at are in a lot of other words like cat and sat and sit and fit. So the error here is to assume that because they could read those short words, no matter how fluently, whether it's the first day of introduction or they've been practicing it for a while, the error is to assume that it can be read in something else, in a bigger story, in another word. So you want to watch the assumptions, and you want to watch that you can make it a game. That's what I like to do. I said, okay, so we're going to find the it in on all this page. It can be with something or it can be by itself. And then you find those. And so just a little lesson in step-by-step instruction is you can actually highlight those it's on a page and have them find it. Or opposite, they can find it and then you highlight it or circle it. And that shows them, your child or student, and even you, that they can identify these groupings. But notice I said groupings, I didn't say words. That's a whole other level. And so the same for math. Like I gave an example earlier, you can learn that 2 plus 2 is 4. But I'll tell you what, if I ask somebody what's 200 and 200 and they have no or limited concept of hundreds, it sounds like it's 202 to them. For somebody who understands that 2 of something, whether it's 200, $2, 2 million likes, and 2 more of those would equal 4 of those such things. It's hard to understand why somebody who only knows that 2 things that you can count and 2 more things that you can count equal 4 things that you can count. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. It's just meant to give you a little tip. And you can always ask me any questions about that. I'm going to keep on adding some more of these videos in hopes that I can help with the learning process for a lot of people. I'll see you again.